Based on the appearance of Nora's panties, Marcy concluded that they were recently worn. They couldn't be more than 1 or 2 days old, and that was the time when Damon was using this room. What were Nora's panties doing in Damon's room? With a single glance, Marcy spotted that both panties were ripped in a similar way. Marcy was sizzling with anger, and the reality dawned on her. That bitch! Nora was pretending to be sweet and supportive while sneaking into Damon's room when Marcy was not looking. Was Nora the reason why Damon ignored Marcy yesterday? Marcy remembered that after Damon touched her, Marcy went to steam her anger on Talia. Alpha Edward contacted her through the mind link, but she brushed him off, saying that she was busy. When Marcy finished with Talia, her father told her that Nora went to accompany Damon while touring the Red Moon Pack. At that time, Marcy didn't think much about it. But what if Nora gave Damon a very personal tour? Marcy gritted her teeth while cursing Nora. It's all her fault! Marcy stormed out of the bedroom and nearly bumped into Nora. What are you doing here? Marcy asked Nora. Is it true that Alpha Damon left? Marcy forced a tight smile on her face. Something came up and he had to leave. I just escorted him. We will resume our marriage talks later. I see. Nora couldn't hide her disappointment. She came after hearing that Damon was gone in order to retrieve her panties, but with Marcy here, she couldn't do it. Nora eyed Marcy, who was still in her robe and nightgown. I guess you will dress up for breakfast? I will see you there. Marcy looked after Nora's retreating back and fumed. You will pay for this, bitch! Marcy gritted her teeth while coming up with various scenarios to make Nora suffer. Since she came home from Paris, nothing went right. Marcy found her mate, but he ended up being an Omega. Her father scolded her more times than she wished to remember. Before she could recover from meeting and rejecting George, Damon showed up as her groom and played some game of hot and cold with Marcy while shagging Nora. Marcy didn't get anything other than insults and embarrassments, and she was confident that even Omegas were laughing at her because that filthy girl saw her with Damon. Yes, that girl in the attic. Marcy's eyes shone maliciously as she made her way upstairs. It took Caden, Maya, and Damon about half an hour to drive to get out of the Red Moon Pack territory. Stop the car, Damon said, and Caden pulled over reluctantly while silently praying to the moon goddess that Damon didn't change his mind and wants to go back to the Red Moon Pack. Damon grabbed the suitcases that were next to him and went to the back of the car with urgency. Caden and Maya turned to see what Damon was doing, and they both gaped at the sight of a girl emerging before Damon put suitcases in the trunk. Damon held her hand and even opened the door for her. Since when is Damon such a gentleman? Caden asked Maya through MindLink, and the latter shrugged in response. Of course, Damon is not a gentleman. Never was, never will be. At least that's what Maya and Caden thought. Until now. Talia and Damon sat in the back seat, and Damon told Caden to resume driving. Caden didn't react. Both Maya and Caden observed Talia curiously. Aren't you going to introduce us? Caden asked Damon, who frowned at him. After a second of hesitation, Damon glanced at Talia and gestured toward the front of the car. That's Caden, my beta, and Maya his mate. He turned to Caden. There you go. I introduced you. Now, can you drive? Caden and Maya were both visibly confused. What about the girl's name? The truth is that Damon didn't know Talia's name. However, he didn't think that was important, and he didn't want to waste time on pleasantries. The important thing was that the girl was next to him, heading to the Dark Howler's pack. There will be plenty of time for them to talk. Also, they were still close to the territory of the Red Moon Pack, and Damon felt pressure to keep moving. Caden saw that Damon's mood was not good, so he resumed driving. Now that he saw Talia, Caden understood why there was all the rush to leave. Alpha Edward, Marcy, and others were jolted awake and too confused by the sudden development to notice the scent of the girl that was in the trunk. Heck, even Caden didn't realize that there was another person in the car, and he wondered if something was off with his nose. When they were back on the road, Caden spoke to Damon and Maya through the mind link. "Is there a reason why we kidnapped a girl from the Red Moon Pack?" "It's not kidnapping," Damon responded. "She came out of the trunk," Maya stated the fact. "We are officially kidnappers." Damon couldn't refute this. Talia came out of the trunk. But she was there only in order to avoid drama if Alpha Edward, Marcy, or someone else sees her. "Why did you beat her?" Caden asked. Damon was outraged. Since when is he a woman beater? Damon would never raise a hand on a woman, unless she is coming to kill him. "I didn't," Damon responded grumpily. Before they could ask more questions, Damon quickly said, "The girl is here out of her own will. She was badly treated, I offered her a way out, and she took it. Now, can you focus on the road? She doesn't have the mind link, but that doesn't mean someone won't come after us if they notice her missing." Damon didn't want to explain more than that, and he was not ready to say that the copper-haired girl was his mate. He was still adjusting to that fact himself. He glanced at Talia, who was looking out the window with her eyes half closed. It was obvious that she was about to fall asleep at any moment. Damon touched Talia's shoulder to get her attention, and then patted his. "Lean on me if you want to sleep." Talia shook her head while she mumbled that it wasn't necessary. She was overwhelmed with all this, and sitting so close to a scary alpha made her uneasy. She wanted to go back in the trunk. Earlier that morning, in the attic, Talia was tired and achy, and her mind was muddled, and she accepted this crazy idea of leaving the Red Moon Pack. But now that she is actually in the middle of this escape adventure, she was not sure if leaving was a good idea. Talia was mentally and physically exhausted. She was used to doing her chores at night and sleeping during the day. And the last 2 days she had gotten beaten, which meant that she didn't sleep. "Aww," Talia cried softly when her forehead bumped into the window. It seemed that she fell asleep without realizing it. Damon put his arm around Talia's shoulders and pulled her to lean her back on him. She struggled to sit straight, but his grip increased, pressing her against him. "Don't be stubborn and sleep." Talia exhaled helplessly. Damon was more comfortable than the hard glass window, but she was not used to leaning on people no matter how warm they were or how good they smelled. And this was the second time in a day for the scary alpha to pin her to lean on him. His sturdy arm was high on her chest as he held her shoulder tightly without hurting her. Talia glanced at Damon and wondered if this was his way of being kind. Did he act like this with everyone? Probably. She didn't see a single reason why someone so powerful and handsome would single her out. "Thanks," Talia said softly, and relaxed against him. With slight vibrations of the car, Damon's warmth, and his scent of the forest and dark chocolate, Talia fell asleep in less than 5 seconds.